Good morning. It's a little chillier. You can see that I put on one of my favorite hoodies. Kind of a Maori Hawaiian pattern. Looks like a Elvis cape almost with this dull color. But see, it's really a hoodie. Anyway, kind of fits my mood. Fits my mood because I woke up from a dream, but oddly enough, or not surprisingly actually, thinking of the process of dreaming, and how dreams work for me. A lot of times, or usually, my dreams is a glimpse into the future, a glimpse into the past, and if something's really with me at the moment, it'll be a dream of the moment. But recently, I was sharing a dream, a vision. It was a vision I had of what's next for my brother, his and his wife, since they've moved here to Hualien. And I saw a continuation of the business, his surf shop in Taiwan incarnation. But this led me to examine, consider, and all those other actions on just where these dreams come from. And this is a question that I asked myself as I went to sleep last night. And this is my MO. If I want to dream about something, I suggest it before I go to sleep. And it's not a command, dream of this. It's just merely a suggestion. And if it's relevant, if it's important, if it needs to be done, it will happen. Lots of times if I misplace something, and I'm a really orderly guy, I like to know where everything is. It's less taxing on the memory if I put things back where they belong, so that when I come to get it, it's readily available. So if it's not there, I won't rest until I've found it. Many times I give up the physical search, but the mental search, backtracking to when I remember it last. But everything needs to be in its place. And this is it's not really a compulsion. It's not OCD. It's in the spirit of keeping things simple. I go to get it, I get it, I'm done. Put it back where it belongs, so that the process is just as easy the next time. But this time, because the dream was so specific, and my brother has been feeling a little bit lost here. He said he can't really see the direction he's heading in. And he's come to value my insights, my dreams, even while not fully understanding and not accepting that these dreams are any more real or any more relevant than any dreams. And of course he's right. All dreams are equally relevant or equally irrelevant. There's no greater or lesser. It's just a matter of paying attention. And I pay attention to my dreams because over the years I've seen a pattern. And more often than not, my dreams come to fruition. Sometimes years, days, weeks, sometimes in the next moment. But last night, I wanted to look into the process of my dreaming and notice a couple of things. First thing I noticed was I have a dream machine, and it looked like an old-fashioned TV, big box, not a modern flat screen. But this was shown to me and called my dream machine. So it's in this spirit of sharing with you my dream machine that I was inspired to name this sharing dream machine. And just as reception wasn't really good on the old TVs before cable, before MOD with its crystal clear images on my modern flat screen television. This had the lines, the horizontal lines that would vertically shift until a pattern was established. And just as the TV had a channel, I could change channels and get a different image. So this image was captured, my brother's surf shop. And interestingly, when I revisited, when I looked for some deeper understanding, if there was any such thing, of the meaning of the dream, I re-experienced the dream and I experienced it in more detail. This time I noticed that his shop and our breakfast place with a bright sign, Aloha Cafe, they were connected. You could go in either one and come into and out the other one. So his surf shop, Tropical Blends East, big picture windows, surfboards, all the surfing accessories, boards, beautifully displayed. My brother has a exquisite sense of design and presentation. So walking into a shop of his is just a great sensual experience, pleasing to the eye. And his choice of music, background music, is always spot on. And walking into the shop and then seeing a big doorway, opening, no door, a big hole in the wall that led you right into our breakfast joint, Aloha Cafe. And it was almost a seamless progression from one into the other. Nothing was shocking to the senses. It all seemed organic, the sense of wholeness. And here I'm watching this on my TV, revisiting this dream, while at the same time receiving instructions that all my dreams are available on my dream machine. So I can go backwards, forwards. Even dreams that have yet to be dreamt are available. And this is not surprising when you understand what time really is, when you learn about the space-time continuum. Time is definitely not linear. It doesn't progress from 1 hour, minute, or second to the next. Time just is. So I was given instructions. A bodiless voice was telling me about my dream machine and encouraged me to change the channels. But for that moment in the dream, I was fixated on the combination Aloha Cafe breakfast joint and Aloha Cafe American breakfasts and brunches existing side by side and encompassing elements of each within the other. And then I took it a step farther. Since we don't speak Chinese, we need someone in our business who speaks Chinese and good English. So I could picture the same individual working in the surf shop and coming over to help in the breakfast as far as communicating with anybody whose English didn't or wasn't good enough to express. But after 21 years of living in Taiwan, I'm quite good at nonverbal communication, body language, and it's quite fun to communicate any way that I can. My brother is more prone to some app like Google language. I don't know. Google has something that you speak in one language and it'll come out in another. But I'm not into gadgets as much as he is. And I prefer the challenge. Some people will shut down immediately when I speak English, but many are getting the spirit of things. And I think a bilingual menu will go a long ways and with photographs, will go a long ways to resolving the problems, any potential problems in the Aloha Cafe. But there need to be a lot more information exchange in the surf shop. There's a lot more questions. And my brother has lots of answers. So, this combining together of the resources and locating in the same place was shown to me on my dream machine. And as I was tuning the dream machine, just as I was looking at time in a non-linear sense, I was looking at dimensions. There's many dimensions. 11 or 13 is what I hear bandied around by quantum physicists who are looking at some way to explain what can be seen as discrepancies, when it can be seen as behaviors not predicted or expected. And this idea of multiverses, many dimensions, seems to go a long ways to resolving some of this quandary, natural questioning. And as yet, there doesn't seem to be a shred of evidence that such things exist, other than the predictability, mathematical predictability that will account for occurrences that don't fit any current model. And when I was the same voice that was sharing this time, this dream machine with me, was explaining to me that in a dream, you were never really sure which dimension, which multiverse, which universe amongst the many the vision, the dream was embodied in. So me seeing the two shops, the breakfast and the surf shop combined, could be pre-existing on in another dimension. It could be fast forward in this dimension. This dimension that we're most aware of. We can't travel yet between dimensions, but I believe in the light body, in our dreams, that we're not only able, but it's unavoidable. So, what I also was told, because of the nature of time, the real essence of time, the dimensions were not synchronized. In other words, one could be a little ahead, one dimension could be a little ahead, one dimension could be a little behind. Yesterday's news could be today. Tomorrow's speculation could as well be today. This was inherent in the understanding of the complexity. Many universes, multiverses, dimensions. So, up until I was introduced to my dream machine, I never could sort out with any sense of surety, could never sort out if I was peering in the future, glimpsing the past, or if it's somewhere else completely. And the dream machine, through the process of changing the channels, which were digital, not analog. So because I remember the old TVs, but this was more like channel surfing on the remote, and embedded somewhere in the image of the dream, embedded in it was bits and pieces of information that I, if I'm sensitive enough and pay enough attention, was able to identify. So that I knew where the dream was centered. On what level was the dream meaningful to me? How was I to interpret it? And I've always been this kind of dreamer and always been reluctant to share. But my brother, even though he has hard time completely suspending his disbelief, he's seen enough to put some credence into my dreams as well. So it's nice to have someone to share with, but 99% I keep to myself. Unless I see a purpose through sharing. If my sharing and the timing of my sharing is correct, it may be of some use to the person I'm sharing it with. That's my intent anyway. So I'll share a couple I've shared, both of them, and now I've shared this combination of energies and environments. 2 shops, breakfast joint, surf shop, together. Ample parking in the back, by the way. And older building that allows us to renovate, to create the space and the use of space that we prefer and hopefully is most useful for us. And the other one, I've never been reticent. This is one dream that I've shared probably more than any other dream, and that's my vision of building a spiritual community, a community that has a place to meditate, a place for people to come and just be. And I envision this as concentric circles that will begin in the middle and work outwards, expanding, circular expansion, just as throwing a pebble, which was my inspiration, by the way, throwing a pebble in still water, and you can see the concentric circles as they reach the shore, and with a little imagination you can feel the continuation, although no longer visible. It ran out of the body of water, but those circles continue to have an impact on everything around them. Just as our emotions, our angers, our jealousies, our happinesses, our blessings, all have this same concentric circles of influence. So simply by just being, you can make a positive change, in the world around you, or at least, if change is too grandiose, at least influences. So this center, originally I wanted to call it Zen Healing Center, but I thought it's a little bit pretentious. Who am I to say who and what needs healing, much less if it's within, if this ability lies within me. So this Zen with a smile, this will be the name of this place that I vision so real that it leads me to wonder if it's already existing on another plane or another dimension. I feel with some confidence that it is, because I can just visualize it so clearly and so easily. And what lies in the unknown for me is that if this idea, this knowledge that it exists already is enough to satisfy my needs here, now, will it remain in the realms of the ether? At least from the perspective of where I am now? Or will it manifest into something more concrete? Will it become a reality here? And you know what? What will be, will be. I'm so fine with that. But a big part of me would like all my energies, all my time to be spent at my center, my manifestation of Zen with a smile, welcoming anyone that ventures there, and being equally okay if I'm a recluse and nobody finds their way. Numbers have never impressed me. I watch my viewings on my YouTube channels, just a handful, and then I go in the other room where my wife is watching a man talk about eating frozen breakfast, reviewing frozen breakfast, and he has tens of thousands of hits. So rather than see that I'm not doing a very good job, I'm not reaching as many people as the guy that samples frozen breakfasts, I can't help but feeling my message has more substance. But tell that to the hundreds of thousands of people who choose to watch the reviews of frozen breakfast. Maybe a laugh is just what you needed. You don't have to devote too much attention to this. It's just a form of entertainment. But what I do know is that if I can resonate with even one person in the universe, if even one person can share with me and think, That's an interesting point. Thank you. Or even disagree. Maybe they see it in a different way. But being able to reach one is so immensely satisfying. And if that expands to a handful, so be it. I embrace that with the same equanimity. So my purpose here is not to get more hits, to get more views, to get more likes, to get more subscribers. My efforts come from within. I'm compelled to sit here, to remember to smile, and to share. And it is the ordinariness of both myself, my efforts, the world I live in, and all that I'm surrounded by. Being special only exists in the eye of the beholder. The moment, the now, the universe sees only all efforts as ordinary. Reflections of ordinariness is the be-all and end-all of our existence. Everything else is an impediment to our progress. The nature of things that we hold on, the desire to be extraordinary, seems to be a persistent one. Everybody wants to be number one at something. And indeed, since there are an infinite amount of things, rest assured that at least one of them, you're number one. But it just doesn't matter. Ultimately, it is of no consequence. Quite the contrary, it's an impediment. So, look for your dream machine. Pay attention to dreams, and maybe you'll be gifted with your own machine, with someone of infinite more awareness and knowledge can teach you how to utilize this magic for the best purposes.